What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Roman Reigns is your new unified WWE champion, having defeated Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. However, what are the WWE's reasons for this bold move? Have they made a big mistake? Well, join us now as we examine the 9 reasons why Roman Reigns won the unified WWE World titles. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 1. Roman's making bank. And while Roman's lengthy title reign can be criticized for a number of reasons, there's no denying Reigns' success selling merchandise, tickets, and boosting SmackDown ratings. The Bloodline is a strong faction that provide a fantastic foil for the WWE's babyfaces, whether it's singles competitors or in a tag team division, as it doesn't hurt the Usos are one of wrestling's best tag teams today. While fans like to boo Roman Reigns, there are many fans who love to hate him and some who can't resist cheering him because he's been so dominant, much like The Undertaker when he debuted as a heel, but the WWE was forced to turn him face. Giving Roman another notch in his belt, in this case unifying the Universal and WWE Championships, is another way for him to get over as opposed to Lesnar, who will show has a different role than he did before Reigns' elevation to the Tribal Chief. Number 2. Roman is Vince's golden boy. Roman Reigns has been Vince McMahon's golden boy largely since the Shield split up and Vince McMahon began pushing Roman Reigns as the WWE's top babyface. While that plan backfired time after time, it didn't stop Vince from doing everything to get Reigns over as his top star. Whether it was happenstance or Vince finally seeing the error of his ways, we realize how impossible that sounds, Reigns' heel turn gave Mr. McMahon the Roman Reigns he wanted for so long. Some of the WWE Universe got behind, even though it was a wrestler they loved to hate. Once he saw that his plans for Roman were finally succeeding, albeit a different path than he had planned, McMahon knew it was time to take things to the next level by having Reigns become Undisputed Champion. Number 3. Brock's career is winding down. And the WWE likely believes Brock's career is winding down while Roman Reigns' career still has many good years remaining. Simply put, Reigns is the future while Lesnar is the past. On the surface, there's reason to believe this as Brock Lesnar is 44 compared to Reigns' comparatively younger 36 years of age. Judging from the rumors about Brock Lesnar's planned appearances after Mania, fans can expect to see more of the Beast, although we can only hope the WWE puts any future Lesnar-Reigns matches on hold or just eliminate them completely. It's unlikely the WWE is going to use Lesnar to put over other talent, especially since Brock is known for being selective about who he wrestles and who he puts over, but he could be put into some main event matches against opponents like Bobby Lashley, a feud the WWE actually kept strong by limiting their interactions and making Lashley's Royal Rumble win over Lesnar a tainted victory. Despite the WWE's reservations about Lesnar's age, we think the WWE is taking a gamble by investing so much in Reigns. There's no need for a unified world champion, unless they plan on a radical change like ending the brand split, and the WWE's policy of devaluing its wrestlers in order to build up Brock Lesnar will likely be repeated with Reigns continuing to defeat one opponent after another. Reigns' age actually may be a big factor, as the WWE thinks the Tribal Chief has discussed a career in Hollywood. Throw in his compromised immune system and the possibility of his leukemia returning, and the WWE could find itself without a champion with no suitable successor. Number 4. Roman is a full-timer. Regardless of what the fate has in store for Roman Reigns, Vince knows that Reigns is a full-timer while Brock is a part-timer, which is being charitable. Lesnar rarely shows up on television, let alone wrestle there or at house shows. The WWE received considerable criticism when it put world belts on Lesnar in the past. Although the world title has lost some of its prestige, it's still a belt that is attractive for house shows and pay-per-views, which makes it smart to put the title on a full-time performer. It could also help with the WWE's ratings problem on Raw. Number 5. Creating the greatest WrestleMania of all time. The WWE worked hard to make WrestleMania 38 into its biggest show ever, and judging from the fans' response so far, they're succeeding both nights. The biggest selling point, at least in WWE's mind, was the winner-takes-all match between Brock and Roman, and the WWE knew it could have one outcome: Roman Reigns unifying the titles with a huge win. Despite the argument that Lesnar could have made WrestleMania equally successful with a win, our next 2 points will show why that's just not the case. As number 6, preserving Roman's push. Roman Reigns has been Universal Champion since 2020's Payback pay-per-view, a record-setting reign notable for Reigns defeating a variety of top stars ranging from legends like Edge, Goldberg, and John Cena to current main eventers such as Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. Lesnar, on the other hand, has had an impressive but less distinguished record since returning to the WWE at SummerSlam in 2021. He lost to Reigns at the 2021 Crown Jewel and to Bobby Lashley at this year's Royal Rumble. Having Reigns lose to Lesnar would have hurt him far more than it would have helped Lesnar. Number 7. Passing the Torch Part 1. And just as Lesnar vs Reigns made for an excellent Mania event, although there were several undercard bouts that exceeded it in match quality and overall entertainment value, it gave the WWE the chance to create a special WrestleMania moment of Lesnar passing the torch to Reigns. Reigns is certainly no youngster with a few years experience, but there is a palpable feeling of Lesnar being the best from the last 20 years, at least in the WWE, and Reigns being the best wrestler in WWE today. It's no coincidence that the WWE took advantage of this opportunity for Lesnar to lose and pass the torch to Reigns, much as Andre the Giant passed the torch to Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. Now the WWE has even more reasons to build Reigns up as the greatest star today and possibly in a long time. Number 8. Passing the Torch Part 2. Just as Brock passed the torch to Roman, Reigns' win and solidified the Tribal Chief status as the best wrestler in WWE today, so will Reigns pass the torch to someone down the road? Looking at Roman's destruction of opponent after opponent, it's difficult to envision any current main eventer upending him for the belt, although there's still plenty of challengers to feed him to, including Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and even Cody Rhodes. It may be a long time before the WWE feels it has someone who can do everything Roman can do and more. However, as mentioned earlier, the WWE should put some potential successors on the tap given the variety of ways Reigns may be taken out of the picture. And number 9. Raising Raw's ratings. It's also likely the WWE sees Roman Reigns as a way of raising Raw's ratings. Other ratings have been hit and miss as the Red brand performs well enough to break into cable's top spots when Monday Night Football is on hiatus and major news stories don't lead to people tuning into cable news instead of their regular programming. Nonetheless, they would like to boost its Monday night ratings, especially since the WWE's rights fee deals will be up for renewal soon and Reigns' rare appearances have helped Raw out. He's arguably the closest thing the WWE has to a megastar since John Cena, so why not capitalize on him by putting him on Raw along with SmackDown? It'll be fascinating to see how the WWE handles Reigns' appearances as unified champion, short of the WWE going with the incredibly stupid move of deciding to create a new world championship for Raw. Reigns will appear on both shows. This creates a potential problem as it could overexpose him if the WWE puts him on the red and blue brands every week. While the WWE could alternate Roman on both shows, perhaps having him work programs on one show for a few weeks before returning to the other brand, this would undoubtedly aggravate the WWE's television partners. Nonetheless, the WWE's history of doing whatever it wants, regardless of how business partners could feel, will make this a moot point. While the WWE might dismiss its business partners' concerns, what of its fans? If the WWE wears out Roman's welcome, could the WWE Universe turn its back on him again? The WWE will have to be prudent with utilizing Reigns, but can Vince McMahon sacrifice the short-term gains of an omnipresent Roman Reigns with the long-term gains of a selective placement? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.